Alhamdulillah. Where are you calling in from?
I'm in Chicago right now, but I'm originally from Toronto, Canada.
You've been there, right?
Yeah, I've been to both. I've been to.
You met Eddie down there, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Chicago's a nice place. I'm thinking of pizza for some reason.
Yeah, deep dish pizza probably.
It's quite
It's
overrated.
famous for here, yeah. First, I just want to say I've been following you guys for a long time, and I love the work you guys do. May Allah reward you for your efforts.
Yeah.
So I had a question related to evolution.
Sure.
That's you, bro.
So what would you say as Muslims, can we use the argument that like all species can come from a common ancestor, with human beings being the exception and human beings coming from a independent origin?
Yeah. So on this point, usually there's a very surface level answer given, and I'm going to give that answer, but I'm going to show you the problems with that answer. And the answer is yes, right?
Okay.
Technically, what you said, Brother Asad, is correct. We can accept, and there's nothing incoherent or in conflict with Islamic texts to the idea that all of life evolved according to natural selection by evolution, and human beings were a miracle, and Bani Adam and our entire lineage goes back to the Adamic couple, right? So there's nothing incoherent about that. However, there are some serious metaphysical and epistemic issues that arise by giving that sort of answer. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So here are some of the issues. The first problem is, if we accept this story, we have not dealt with the elephant in the room, and that is the Darwinian challenge to design. So one of the things that they try and do is they try and get rid of the idea of design in nature by pointing out to this naturalistic story of theirs. So we have to be able to articulate that actually, no, we will not accept this because this has design implications which are problematic for us. So that's one thing to consider.
Okay.
Another thing to consider is that we wouldn't have dealt with the core issue that they're trying to raise against us. So we can say we'll accept everything that you guys are saying, except for human beings will make an exception. And they'll say, why? Why are you making that exception? And we'll have to go back to, the epistemic weighing. We'll have to go back to, well, we believe the Quran is the word of Allah, and we believe science is ilm al-dhann, it's the knowledge which doesn't give certainty. Therefore, we'll go back to the philosophy of science, and therefore we're just explaining the same thing we were explaining before. So there's that as well. Okay. So you have to take that into consideration. The other problem is that if we accept this idea that everything evolved except human beings in terms of like from a Darwinian perspective, then some of the serious problems with the lies that they've been pumping out, the propaganda they've been pumping out, the homogeneous structure that they're trying to show amongst biologists, that they all agree on this, they all agree on that, we won't have the chance to actually show that this is not true, that this is not what they've been up to, and there are serious problems here. So altogether, I think it's quite dangerous to just say yes, it's possible, and therefore leave it. Like you have to say yes, it's possible. I've previously given the example of Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam, if you took out his DNA, people would say he's linked to this. This is his father, this is his mother, but we know his father did not exist. We know that he didn't have a father. Likewise, Adam alayhi salam did not have a father or a mother. So we have to go back to those philosophical points, those epistemic points. And the other thing which I think is very important to keep in mind is, as Muslims, we need to have intellectual courage. Yeah, it's easy. It's honestly easy to say, if we're facing, for example, a challenge from liberals, or a challenge for feminists, or a challenge from memonists, or a challenge from scientism or Darwinism or whatever, it's easy to give in and say, well, okay, we'll accept this. And the fact is, as Muslims, we have this particular problem for a reason. This is decreed by Allah. This is a test from Allah. This is something, that was supposed to happen. And as Muslims, we should always be at the forefront of intellectual bravery. So, we shouldn't shy away from these theological challenges, because the fact is they all go back to the same thing, which is the existence of God and God's creative power. Because what is Adam al-Islam except a miracle? Just like the parting of the sea, just like the virgin birth, just like Ibrahim Islam.
Exactly.
That's all it comes down to. So it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter about these things, right? I would also like to point out some of the stuff on my channel recently. I've been covering today, for example, I had Casey Luskin on my channel. I've
seen that, yeah. Oh.
Exactly. You saw, people need to know about this. People need to know how evolutionary biologists have been cancelled, how people have lost tenure, how people have been forced to self-censor because of the Darwinian pressure, right? They need to know about these things. They need to know, for example, you might have seen, I think this is my 5th time I've had Paul Nelson on my stream. And the last stream I did with Paul Nelson, he challenged this whole nonsense that Darwinists come up with about transitional probabilities, and he challenged it using origination probabilities, which is a novel argument. Originally, he got it from a philosopher of biology, Elliot Sober, who is, that's where the idea was inspired from. He's definitely not a theist, right? He's not a religious person. So we need to show people that these things exist. You have atheists who don't believe in universal common ancestry. They believe in the forest of life. You have theists who accept it. We need to be direct and clear. Even though the answer to your question is yes, I want Muslims to have that intellectual bravery. I want them to be able to stand out and say, yeah, fine, we are at odds with what you guys believe. And remember, if you don't draw your battle lines and you retreat, you will go back and eventually have to fight anyway. So, for example, if we hypothetically go with, okay, yeah, evolution, yeah, Darwinism, yeah, we'll accept it. Eventually, they'll come for the night journey. How does the night journey fit with physics? How does the night journey fit with Einsteinian relativity? If we have this body of this Burak, how much fuel does it need at this speed? Won't we have disintegration? Was it made of organic matter? You can have, who cares? The fact is, we have to eventually have the discussion between supernaturalism and naturalism. So it's better if the bull's in front of you that you grab it by the horns, you put it on the floor, rather than you run away and then you have to do the same thing.
Right.
The difference is, by you running away, you've probably empowered the bull. So
yeah,
that's what I want to instill, Asad. That's my main aim, inshallah.
All right, thank you so much.
Jazakallah khair.